Everybody. My name is Leah Adrian, and I'm in the Stakeholder and Community Engagement Group. And we're going to give it just a minute to have people get logged in. But in the meantime, just to let you know, this is the first of 7 classes that Martin is going to give over the electrical code. And so we have one pretty much every Monday and Friday over the next month with a couple days for holidays. We've got one we won't have on a Monday. But if you aren't signed up, wherever you signed up for this one on that public input page, you can get to the Zoom to sign up for the other ones. Um, I also wanted to let you know that we have another series called the Info Series, DSD Info Series, and then the Land Development Academy are 2 other programs that the department has. The Land Development Academy is probably geared more towards attendees of this series, more for development and development professionals. Anyone is available to attend it though. And then the DSD Info Series is available. Um, More for just entry level understanding of what's going on in the city of Austin with development. We also have partner departments that'll join us and things learning about everything from basic code enforcement or to, what kind of things you can put in your lawns and how to declutter. So all of that's available. We have the websites at the end of this presentation, but in general, find it on our webpage for community meetings. Also, just to let everybody know, this is being recorded. We will have it loaded to the website. So if you miss it or a colleague misses it and would like to know more about it, in about a week, we'll have it loaded to the website. So um, just that's kind of some of the housekeeping. Um, Also, just to let everybody know, this presentation, Martin Stewart's going to give his presentation today, and we will have a Q&A session at the end of it if we have time. If you would like, you can enter questions in the Q&A box as they come out throughout the presentation. If they pop into your brain and you just want to get them out, you can put them in there. Or again, if we have time at the end, we can raise your hand and you can ask your question. We ask that you don't use the chat just because it doesn't capture the information the same way, and we like to be able to capture that so we can provide that information out later. And also, if we don't have time to get to that question, Q&A later, we can follow up and have those captured so we can get them answered appropriately. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Martin Starrett. And Martin, introduce yourself and I will pass it to you.
All right, thank you, Leo. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody today? Happy Star Wars Day. It's May the 4th. Before we get started, there's a few things. I will try to capture as many changes as I can, but I may miss a few. I will not be covering any medium voltage articles or some of the subtle changes. I will hit a few of them, but not all of them. Uh, you will not receive any continuing education credits. This is for informational only. And as Leah said, hopefully we'll have time at the end for questions or comments. So, kind of when I was doing stakeholder engagements for the City of Austin Electrical Ordinance, I was really getting into the new code, 2026 National Electric Code, and I thought, you know, how could I help the electricians and people doing electrical work in the city look at these changes? So I kind of come up with this idea of going chapter by chapter. Went through the department, and they said yes. We chose this month, May, for two things. One, it's National Electrical Safety Month, so it's commemorating that. And also, a couple Thursdays ago, the city council adopted the new 2026 National Electric Code, which will take effect in the city of Austin on September 1st this year, aligning with the state's adoption. So this is a good opportunity for us to look at the changes, go over them, before that September date. So the 2026 National Electric Code introduces sweeping structural reorganizations designed to make the code clearer, more consistent, and better aligned with modern electrical systems. The most significant shifts include a reformatting effort in preparation for the 2029 National Electric Code. So a lot of the work that they've done in this 26 code is to set up for the restructuring in 2029. Actually, they kind of started some of it in 2020 and in 2023. A lot of the definitions were taken out of the articles and moved to Article 100. So as part of the 2029 NEC restructuring, we essentially have had the same structural organization of the National Electric Code for approximately 88 years. The last substantive modification took place in 1937. Next slide, please. So the proposed 2029 structure is going to go from the current 9 chapters to proposed over 20 plus chapters. So in 2029, we're going to see a whole different National Electric Code. Next slide, please. So one of the things that you'll see in the 2026 code is the limited energy systems are reorganized. Chapter 8, independence is removed. Communication systems is no longer a standalone chapter. Chapter 7 now houses all limited energy systems that what we would call kind of a low voltage. So Articles 720, 760 now contain the primary installation requirements for all limited energy systems, including communications. This aligns with industry growth in low voltage communications and control systems. Next slide. 3 of the chapters were renamed. So Chapter 5, formerly special occupancies, is now special occupancies and locations. Chapter 6, special equipment, is now specific equipment. Chapter 7 was formerly special conditions, is now specific conditions and systems. Next slide. Medium voltage was all reorganized. The 2026 NEC restructures medium voltage content for clarity and consistency across the chapters. Next slide. We have a lot of new articles, and a lot of these have to do with the limited energy and the medium voltage, including Annex L. That's where you'll see the new proposed changes to the 2029 NEC. Next slide. We've had some relocated articles. Article 220 was relocated to 120, which we'll discuss today. And then Article 750, Energy Management Systems, was relocated to 130. 728, Fire Resistant Cable System, is relocated to 772. Next slide. And then we've had some deleted articles. Next slide. So those of you that are pretty familiar with the National Electric Code, dot 2 in prior editions, whereas usually where we found the definitions that was contained in that particular article, but now that all those definitions have been moved to Article 100, they're now using the dot 2 in a lot of the articles as the listing requirements. So whenever you go to a specific article, you look at the dot 2, that's where you're going to see some new listing requirements and then some current ones as well. Next slide. Similar with dot 3, across the code will have your reconditioned equipment. How if it's allowed, if it's not allowed. Some of them are still left open. They haven't had anything added to them yet. Next slide. So Article 90, introduction. Next slide. So Article 90.3 for code arrangement. This section was updated to no longer require that Chapter 8 be independent from other chapters. So now Chapter 8 will supplement or modify any of the chapters 1 through 8. Next slide. Chapter 1. Next slide, please. So we'll get into Article 100, definitions. So readily accessible readily. It was updated to remove the phrase of requiring those whom ready access is requisite to requiring ready access to take action. A little slight change. Next slide. Cable tie and cable tie fixing device. A new definition that provides clarity on the purpose of a cable tie, aligns with the structural provisions in Article 300.11 and 300.13E. We'll also see as we go along this month, we'll see some new listing requirements that's been added for cable ties. Cable tie fixing device, it's a new definition that was added to define the purpose of a cable tie fixing device, and that is it is a part used to attach a cable tie to a mounting surface. Next slide. Conductive pavement heating system. That's a new definition for a new technology. It's a system in which heat is generated by passing current through the pavement material and between electrodes embedded within the pavement material. And we'll be discussing this when we get into that article later on this month. Next slide. Countertop. The definition for countertop was revised to include beverage preparation and serving. Also, you have some informational notes that carry you to the listing requirements, and basically a countertop surface receptacle must pass a 64-ounce spill test because of the risk of the larger quantities of liquids to the outlets. So a lot of these receptacles that you put in the countertops, embedded in the countertops, will have to be listed for this purpose because they have to meet that requirement. We'll get into that whenever we get into chapter 4. Next slide. Electric self-propelled vehicle supply equipment, electric self-propelled vehicle, and electric self-propelled vehicle power export equipment. These are all new definitions, along with a new article 624 will address those electric vehicles that do not meet the definition of electric vehicle, such as forklifts, golf carts, electric boats, tractors, and airport ground support vehicles. Next slide. Energy management system. The revision to the definition removed the list of component and now focuses on the functional capabilities. Previous definition had the words and or. Now it's just going to have and. So yeah, it's changed up a little bit. Next slide. Energy storage system. The definition was revised for simplicity and accuracy. Informational note includes different types and that it differs from a stationary battery. They want to make sure that you understand that a stationary battery is not an energy storage system. Next slide. Generator terminals. The revision to generator removed the word inverter, and the code now clarifies the connection point output to help with other code requirements. We'll see this in a couple other ones coming up there. We're getting better terminology for what the actual purpose is for. Next slide. Ground fault circuit interrupter. Class A was added as an alternate term due to the addition of three other new terms. So previously we just had the ground fault circuit interrupter, but now we'll have definition for Class A, Class C special, Class D special, and Class E special. So they've all those definitions are now added. Uh, Next slide. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Line to ground, line to line, line to neutral. Three new definitions to establish general requirements across all power systems, whether they are alternating current or direct current. Next slide. Metering centers, meter center. There's a new definition of a product that has been around for years. A meter center under the definition is a panel board with one or more meters. Next slide. Microgrid, PV systems. The definition was simplified and modified to align with other uses in the code. Next slide, please. Overcurrent protected device. The term branch circuit overcurrent protected device has been changed to strictly overcurrent protected device by removing branch circuits, feeders, service conductors, and equipment from the previous definition. Next slide. Pool. The revision to the definition pool clarifies its uses. Also, there was in the definition an informational note was added to state that a leisure river attraction is a type of pool. Another informational note under the definition was added to see Article 682 for natural and artificially formed bodies of water. Next slide. Power control system. It's a new definition that addresses the use of energy management system to prevent overload of the conductors and service and other distribution equipment. So we have energy management systems, but energy management systems have now been kind of broken down, and the overload portion of those will be the power control system. So that's one of the big things, and we'll be seeing this whenever we talk about Article 120 here a little later. Next slide. Power production source. The definition was updated to replace equipment with source. Next slide. Transformer secondary conductor. A new definition to clarify the applicable installation requirements. A conductor that originates at the secondary winding terminal of a transformer and is not a service conductor. I think previously a lot of people get use that transformer when they're talking about a utility transformer on the utility side. This definition will help to kind of split those up, where when we're talking about a transformer, it would not be the service conductor secondary. Next slide. Work surface. The revised definition of work surface excludes beverage or food preparation, unlike the countertop, which includes those. And there again, there's information note that leads you to a UL listing. These work surface receptacles need to pass an 8-ounce spill test due to only incidental risk of spillage of liquids upon outlets. A good example, if I installed a pop-up in a work surface, it wouldn't have to meet the listing requirements of a counter because of the spill. But if I put a work surface listed receptacle in a countertop, then I would have a code violation. Next slide. Article 110, general requirements. So, Article 110.3B, installation and use. A revision was added that prohibits the manufacturer's instruction from reducing the National Electric Code requirements. So, previously, if you had something that was listed and it went by the manufacturer's instructions, which come with the listing, that there was some installations that it might actually violate the National Electric Code. Well, this new code here says, yes, you have a listed product, and yes, you're using the manufacturer's instructions, but you still have to meet National Electric Code requirements. So just because it's listed and you install the instructions, you still have to meet any additional electrical code requirements. Next slide. 110.10, available fault current, short circuit ratings, and other characteristics. A revision of the title and text, replacing the term circuit impedance with available fault current. This eliminates the need to include total impedance as it's already factored into the calculation. So there was no need to do it twice. So that's why they removed it from the title and text. Next slide. 110.14, electrical connections. The term suitable was replaced with identified. So now you'll be looking for identified connections and not suitable. Next slide. The high-lead marking, the orange marking must now be visible at all splices as well as terminations. Currently in our electrical ordinance, we kind of tell you that we have to have the marking at the splices and terminations. So that's something that's already here in Austin. FYI, when we adopted the 2026 code a couple Thursdays ago, the new 2026 City of Austin code will now only have 4 technical amendments. I will talk about them during our last class at the end of the month, FYI. Next slide. All right, so this is a big one. This one's probably in if you look at any magazine, manufacturer, any of their top 10, this one's on everybody's list. So Article 110.16, arc flash hazard marking. Excuse me. So in 2023, only service or feeder supplied equipment with a 1,000-amp rating or higher had to have this arc flash hazard marking. But in the 2026 code, in other than dwelling units, that's 1 and 2 family dwellings, an arc flash marking will be required on service equipment and feeder supplied equipment, such as switchboards, switchgear, enclosed panel boards, industrial control panels, meter socket closures, and motor control centers. Next slide, please. So what you're going to have, this label is going to have, it's going to have the nominal system voltage, the arc flash boundary distance, incident energy or required PPE level, date of the arc flash assessment. That'll all have to be on the label. So I know this was probably a big one for some of the electrical contractors, electricians that do light commercial, because they normally don't get into that higher than that 1,000-amp threshold. So you're going to have to probably get into NFPA 70E standard for electrical safety in the workplace if you're not already. If you're an electrician or electrical contractor, you should be familiar with that document anyway. But if not, uh, whenever you start these warning labels, you're going to have to get into it a little bit because one of the requirements is incident energy or required PPE level. I would say if you have a electrical engineer, possibly they can help with the incident energy. But if you're doing these light commercial projects, uh, you're probably going to have to do it on your own. Then you would have to go to the 70E and look at the required PPE levels. So this is this is a pretty big hit for anybody that's going to be now under the 2026 code. But everything is for electrical safety. If I'm an electrician coming back to work on this piece of equipment, I can look at this label and determine the what my risk is, what kind of PPE I need, that kind of thing. So it's very important for worker safety. And if you're not into 70E, you need to get into it, especially if you're doing electrical work or even energized electrical work. Next slide, please. 11017 service and equipment. They've removed the phrase and maintenance from the article title. What this means is this puts the maintenance requirements in NFPA 70B and leaves installation requirements in NFPA 70, which is the National Electric Code. So now we've got a little split. Installation electric equipment's in the National Electric Code. Maintenance requirements are in the standard for electrical equipment maintenance in 70B. Next slide. Space about electrical equipment. The text was revised to state when such doors are or can be opened 90 degrees to allow adequate space for egress. The 24-inch measurement must be taken from the doors that are opened at 90 degrees. So we any electrical equipment that falls under this article, the egress would be with the doors completely open 90 degrees. You got to have at least that 24-inch egress width. Next slide. 11026A1, depth of the working space. A revision to better distinguish between exposed live parts and enclosed ones. Distances shall be measured from enclosed front or opening if such live parts are enclosed. As a electrical inspector, I always measured from the front of the equipment, but it really wasn't spelled out. Well, it now will be. Even though the say the panel guts are up inside the panel, 2 or 3 inches, it will be your measurement will be taken from the outside front of the equipment. You won't be able to use that that couple inches where the interior's in there a little bit inside the panel can. Like I said, I never did that anyway, but I guess for argument's sake, you probably could have previously. That's one thing we'll notice about the this code, the 2026 code. There's a lot of clarity that's been cleaned up, a lot of redundancy that's been removed. So, in an enforcement standpoint, there's going to be a lot less gray areas. Next slide. 26C2, entrances to and egress from working space, large equipment. The revision, they included a feeder disconnects that are covered in Article 225.33A. So if you have a feeder disconnect that's over 6 foot, that's covered in that article, then you have to meet the entrance and egress working space requirements in this article. Next slide. Kind of a combination of two articles, 11029 insight from, with insight from, with insight less than 1,000 volts, and then 11039 would be greater than 1,000 volts. Where the code specifies that one equipment shall be in sight from, within sight from, or within sight of another equipment, the specified equipment shall be visible and not more than 50-foot distance from the other. So you'll have one article that's for less than 1,000, and then you'll have another article for greater than 1,000. Next slide. Uh, Article 11040, electrical connections. We discussed, already looked at 11014, but 11040 will be if equipment is rated more than 1,000 volt, but does not exceed 2,000 volt and is connected with medium voltage, the requirements of this article applies instead of 110.14. Next slide, please. Okay, Article 120. This was relocated from Article 220, branch circuit feeder and service load calculations. It's always been 120 for the 43 years that I've been in full-time electrical. But in reality, it kind of was in the wrong place to begin with. So now that's moved to service load calculation, now moved to Article 120. Next slide. Article 110.5A, calculation voltages. They've added 416Y 240 voltages. These voltages are becoming more common in data centers and high density facilities. Next slide, please. A little change in the floor area, 125C. Floor area calculations must exclude detached garages. We've always had open porches or unfinished areas, not adaptable for future use, but where they're excluding the detached garages in the 26. Next slide. Direct current loads. The addition of a clear method for calculating DC loads. Volt amp shall be equivalent to watts, and kVA shall be equivalent to kW. There's it's a lot more introduction of direct current in the 26 code, because a lot of our we're really incorporating it back into electrical now, the DC. So you'll see a lot of added stuff in the new code. Next slide. Percent multiplier, 120.5E, load calculation shall not require continuous loads to be calculated at 125%. The informational note says an 125% multiplier could be required for reasons other than continuous loads. Continuous loads impact the size of the conductor and the overcurrent protective device, but might not influence the load. So they're removing the 125% in the load calculation article, but it'll still be over in the your sizing of conductor and also your sizing of your overcurrent protective device. Next slide, please. Non-coincident loads. The revision allows designers to use the single largest load among non-coincident loads, the total load calculations. For feeder and services, two or more loads that are unlikely to be used simultaneously. For branch circuits, feeders, or service, two or more loads that are prevented from being used simultaneously by listed equipment. They've cleaned this article up real good. It's more straightforward now. You don't have to jump through a whole lot of hoops when it comes to these. Basically, you'll be choosing the larger of the two. Next slide. Power control systems, 120.7. If a energy management system can accurately control loads to prevent overloads, it's now officially called a power control system. Power control system can change how electrical loads are calculated for panels and services. So a lot of the we're getting into solar and battery, and a lot of our houses and commercial projects are on these energy management systems, and a lot of these use power control systems. So you're able to do some different load calculations based on how you install these items in your electrical system. But the whole purpose is you on these power control systems is controlling the overloads. Next slide, please. 2013 dwelling unit branch circuit loads. The new article reaffirms the long-standing standard of 3 volt amps per square foot. The branch circuit load will be separated from the feeder and service load calculations now found in Article 120.41. So when I show you 1.41, the VA per square foot will change. But when you're figuring branch circuit loads, it'll stay at the 3 VA that it has been for years. Next slide. So the 120.41 dwelling unit minimum unit load. So that has been reduced to 2 VA per square foot. So whenever we're doing our service and feeder load calculations, when we used to use that 3 VA per square foot for dwelling units, we'll now be able to use 2 VA per square foot. The 3 VA will only be for the branch circuit requirements. Next slide, please. Lighting load for non-dwelling unit occupancies, table 12042A, general lighting loads by non-dwelling occupancies. They in that same note of that table, they've removed that 125% of the continuous load, similar to what I said earlier. You'll still have to do it for your conductor and your overcurrent devices, but they're removing it from the load calculations. Next slide. Electric clothes dryers, dwelling units, the revised demand factors now align with updated usage. They're simpler now. Basically, used to 1 to 4 dryers was at 100%, but now it's 1 to 2 dryers are 100%. So it's a little bit more simpler now, the table. You still have to figure 5,000 per electric clothes dryer, but the demand factor table has changed. Next slide. Instantaneous trip water heaters and kitchen equipment other than dwelling units. So now instantaneous water heaters are included in the demand factors that formerly only contain kitchen equipment and other than dwellings. So by this addition, these InstaHots that are installed in these kitchens can now use the demand factors that the kitchen equipment was using. So it's kind of helps whenever they install these in the kitchens, that now they'll be able to use those same demand factors whenever they're figuring load calculations. Next slide. Dwelling units general loads, 12082B. Again, the lighting load was reduced to 2 VA from 3 VA, and then there's been a change on the demand factor. The first 10,000 at 100% has now been reduced to 8,000. So the first 8,000 now will be factored in at 100%, and the remainder, I believe, is at 40%. I believe. Next slide. EVSE loads 120.82D for dwelling unit. Optional method, the electric vehicle supply load is required to be calculated 100%. Also, will tell you there's a change in the EV load. Uh, you can either use the nameplate, and I believe it's 7,200 VA. So with that being said, if the actual nameplate is lower, you can actually use that if it's known. If it's not known, you'll have to go the 7,200. Next slide. Existing loads, 120 to 83. In that article, it was also reduced from 2 VA from the 3 VA. An electrical vehicle was added also to that article. Next article. There you go. Same thing, 120/84 multifamily. The lighting load was reduced to 2 VA from 3 VA. Next slide. Table 120, 110, demand factors for receptacles supplied by general purpose branch circuits and healthcare facilities. So now all receptacles supplied by branch circuits, that be your general purpose branch circuits, not exceeding 150 volts to ground, will now be able to use the table 120.110 demand factors. Next slide. So patient care related electrical equipment, table 120.11. So those particular branch circuits rated 20 amps and not exceeding 120 volts will now be able to use the table 120.11 demand factors. Next slide. Finally, so with the restructuring of the code, putting everything where it needed to be, finally, recreational vehicle parks. The load calculations were always contained in Article 551. They finally convinced them, or made them, excuse me, probably move these to Article 120. So RV park load calculations is now a new Part 8 of Article 120, with all the contents from 551.73 moved over to there. Same thing with next slide. Mobile home and manufacturers. They didn't want to give up the load calculations out of Article 550 either, but now all those are moved over to Article 120 and are Part 9 of that article. So all the contents that was in 550.18 is now in Article 120. About time. It took a long time for that, I believe. Kind of had to make them do that, I believe. Next slide. Article 130, Energy Management Systems. This was relocated from Article 750. So Article 130.2, listing requirements. Energy management systems and power control systems are required to be listed. And those requirements will be found in that article, .2. Next slide. Article 130.50, general. The added Part 2 to this article is now dedicated to power control systems. So all the requirements for those will be found in Part 2. Next slide. One of these is in Article 130.60, conductors and equipment. So new requirements for the power control systems to prevent overloads for conductors, power sources, and power distribution equipment. So any of your anything that you need to know about the conductor sizing for these systems will be in that 130.60. Next slide, please. 130.70 settings. That'll define how the power control systems must be programmed to prevent overload. So if you install these systems, have been installing these systems, you might want to be looking at these articles in that Part 2, because there's going to be some new requirements. Next slide. Article 130.80, marking and documentation. It clarifies labeling, record keeping, and location-specific requirements for power control systems. So that's where it'll all be at. Okay, before we get to this section here, uh, I just want to tell you that that's pretty much, I went over pretty much Article 90 and Chapter 1. If you've noticed anything that you saw that you need additional information, there's a ton of resources out there. If you're familiar with Ryan Jackson, he's currently got a YouTube series called 100 Days of 100 Code Changes. The IAEI, they have resources on their YouTube channel that goes over a lot of the changes. They also have a analysis of changes book. A lot of the manufacturers and equipment, they all have a lot of their top 10 code uh, changes and stuff. You could easily be found by Google. If you any of those with Texas state license, you're required to take continuing education. I would suggest that you add a 2026 code change class whenever you do that. The more you see this stuff, the more it becomes memory. It's kind of like I said. That's kind of why I was wanting to have these series this month. Is the more you see it, the more you'll remember it. Okay, I guess we got any questions?
Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes left. So if you have a question and you want to ask it, just raise your hand and I'll take you off mute. Or if you want to type anything in the Q&A box, you're welcome to do that. Right now, I don't see any hands raised or anything, but again, we have the time. You have the resource of Marty. He's our guy. He knows the stuff. So
Well, I don't know about know my
well,
stuff.
if nothing else, we can write it down and you can ask somebody. But if you don't know it, I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to say also that coming up Friday, we'll be looking at chapter 2. There's quite a few
Right.
changes. It'll probably be a little longer than today. Some of these chapters are longer than others, but that would be a pretty good one. And if you would, you need to share with your electrician friends. I was hoping to have a lot more electricians in so they can at least be aware of them, some of the changes. So yeah, if you could put the word out, it would help. But today, like I said, was kind of an introduction in chapter 1, but we'll really start getting into chapter 1 and chapter 3. Excuse me, chapter 2 and chapter 3, chapter 4, uh, even chapter 6. Those are a lot of big ones. There's lots of stuff in each one of those chapters that affects a lot of the electricians that do installations in the city of Austin.
All right, let's see. In the Q&A, we have somebody, Todd asked, when arc flash labels are required, will city inspectors need to see proof of calculations or they only be looking to see if there's a label there?
So the city inspectors will be looking at the label and make sure that the information that's required by that article is on that label. So the electrician, the electrical contractor, master, engineer, whatever will be doing the calculations. The city inspectors will only be looking at the label to make sure that the required information is on that label.
And thank you. Let's see. There was a question on whether if there's a link I can send to people for the next class. Yes, if you'll bear with me just a second, I will get that link and I will drop it in the chat. So that way, again, you can forward that to the people in your community. Yeah, get the word out.
Yeah,
So bear with me.
it's also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And it's on the development services website, I believe. All this is,
Yes.
yeah, it's any of the socials, you'll find it on there. It's got a link to the public information page where you can sign up for each class.
Yes, and I will also see, well, I can get that. So if you go to publicinput.com/EC 2026, let's see. Yeah, so that I did put that in the chat for the actual one for next class. And then I put the public input NEC 2026. You'll have all of the links for future classes are on that website. So the publicinput.com /NEC 2026, it'll have all of the classes for the rest of the month. And then again, this is being recorded and we'll have it on the public meetings webpage with development services. So in about a week, there is going to be, all of those should be up. Um, and Myra, I just put in the link for the chat, for public input. Let me know if you don't see it. That's okay, got it. All right, perfect. Those are all the questions I see. Again, we have a couple of minutes, but otherwise, I'd love to see everybody in the future classes. And again, thank you so much for joining us. We'll stay on for another minute or two, and then yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you so
Yes, thank
much.
you. Thank everybody that showed up.